Hi. This is my third installment of the In Real Time series that I made up. Uh, if you haven't seen this yet, or if this is your first time on on the email list, as a background, I'm doing these In Real Time series every fourth week that I send you a newsletter, my Sunday kind of blog. And the background behind this is I wanted to step into my own sense of discomfort. And I coach my clients on leaning into discomfort as a path to growth. And I wanted to walk my talk. And so if you're seeing this for the first time, welcome. I hope you find something of what I'm about to say or something of how I'm about to show up inspiring in your own path. And I hope there's some valuable takeaways from you. Yeah. So yeah, in this moment, again, I'm stepping into this unscripted. Part of what I want to do is be able to trust my in the moment wisdom when I show up to these things, and so this is my way of practicing it. And what I'd like to say is, I would love to say that third time around, I'm getting better. I don't know that I'm getting better. Maybe I'm getting worse at being able to communicate ideas off the cuff. But I will say that I'm becoming more comfortable with something that I felt uncomfortable at first in doing. And so, one insight that I'd like to offer now is it's true what they say: step into discomfort, you'll feel growth. And confidence is not a result of something that just comes out of nowhere. Confidence is a result of just continuing to step into things that scare you a little bit. So that's the first thing I'd like to share is that's what's going on for me. And I hope that inspires you in some bit to explore whatever it is you're up to, and kind of feel into what it is that what discomfort is being invited for you to step into. Um, the other thing I'd like to really touch on today is this idea of slowing down. And I take a breath as soon as I say that, because I do feel myself speeding up. And one thing that I often find doing with my clients is just helping them slow down, dropping into the space that we're creating together, and trusting that in that slowing down process, new insights will come up, new creativity will come up. And I've heard it said that to be creative, one must be less productive. To be creative, one must be less productive. So, wrap your mind around that a little bit. We've been conditioned to believe that if our engine's revved up constantly, that's how we're going to push out and generate the results that we want to see in the world. And I find that in my own work and in the work that I do with my clients, much of what we're doing is showing up in our fullest creative potential. The simple act of writing a compelling and beautiful email to a prospective customer, to a prospective buyer, to someone you'd like to work with initially is a creative act. The the result that you get when the email's done, sure, that might feel productive, but the brain power that it takes to sort of think about, what language do I use here that will really convey how I feel about this person and how I feel about our partnership. That in itself is a creative act. Uh, I've had a couple sessions this week, one with a client who is on his way to surpass his first million in his business. And I had a few more sessions today with co-founders who are on their way to creating something bold and impossible in their business. And I find that the themes that exist for in both instances, and again in a majority of the work that I do, is a lot of what we're trying to achieve comes out of our creative potential, and it comes out of the discipline that we honor within ourselves to create and cultivate an environment so that we can consistently show up with our fullest creative potential. And again, in both those clients that I mentioned, if you were a fly on the wall on our conversation and you sort of just listened on the rhythm and the spaces and the rests in between those conversations, it was all about kind of coming in with a revved up engine, and it was all about together in that space, slowing down, really anchoring into what we want, anchoring into what wants to be created, and then giving that breath, giving that space, allowing it to come through instead of forcing it to come through. And so, I'd invite you to even replay this video. If I remember correctly in this moment, I probably came in a little sped up. I probably came in a little excited. And then as I took those breaths, as I got more present with myself, my hope is I started to make more sense. My hope is that the words, the language, the things that I was trying to communicate started to become more clear. And so, if you find that rings true for you, maybe you replay this back, and this idea of being more creative means being less productive rings true for you. I'd invite you to look at your week ahead, look at your calendar, look at the meetings you've booked, and how much of that can be moved to next week? How much of those productivity-oriented tasks must really happen this week, and how much of them can be pushed, 2 weeks out from now? And what would happen if you instead blocked out time for nothing, for less productivity, blocked out time to take a walk and just get away from work? And what would happen if you just gave yourself space? And if there was space, like, what thoughts would occur to you that would have rather not had a chance to come through because you were so wound up and so much in productivity mode? What business strategies would come out of nowhere if you allowed yourself to slow down and get away from productivity and more into creativity, more nothingness in your schedule this week? I hope that was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts on what your responses might be here. I would love to hear your insights that you come up with, and I will hear or perhaps see from you next week. Okay. That's all for now. Till next time.